I'm in my basement and I am fetching a massive bag of pork fat because today I'm going to try for the first time to make, to render this fat into lard. This currently is not shelf stable. I don't know if it's going to be shelf stable later, but I'm going to give it my best shot today. From the few videos I watched this morning, I'm sufficiently confused and had a lot of conflicting information on what to do. So I'm just going to do my best, pick and choose from what they told us. But first things first is we were really ambitious in how much pork fat we put in one bag. And I don't think that I can render all of that down, especially because we bought kind of a small slow cooker. So I want to be able to just fill this up with fat, and then I'll put the rest down in the basement. And we'll try again later because I don't know how, I don't want to do it all in the one go because I might be doing it wrong. I have got some in here, probably want to put a little bit more in it. Okay. But I don't want to cook too much because I'm not sure how it's going to turn out because I had so much conflicting advice on the internet. So I don't want to make too much, but I want to make enough. I'm going to put this back down in the deep freeze. I'm going to let this thaw out because I need to cut off the like the pig meat that's still on it. We don't want any of that pieces. We just want the fat. So it's got to thaw out a little bit. I'm going to cut those pieces off and then I'm going to cut it up nice and tiny, and I'll talk more about that when I'm starting to do it. So I waited about 5 minutes and my knife is going through it really easily now. So I'm going to cut it while it's still frozen because otherwise it's going to get really greasy and it's going to be hard to cut it all up. So I'm cutting off the bits of meat and I'm cutting it in kind of smallish little chunks of just the fat so that they have more surface area to melt in the slow cooker. Apparently that's important. So it's cutting up really nicely. Here's the meat that I'm cutting off of it. This is a really sharp knife and I'm a little bit worried that I'm gonna like slice my fingers. So that's one big fear that I'm overcoming today. As I'm cutting it up, it's getting warmer and it's getting a bit greasier on my hands, but it is like a really nice texture. It's pretty easy to cut and it's very satisfying. So these like curly pieces, so they're kind of, so they're a little bit curled. These pieces are the leaf lard. We're not using all leaf lard. I know that a lot of people who render it down, they choose specifically to use the leaf lard because it's gonna have a lot more of a delicate flavor, they say, which makes me think that it just has, I assume, no flavor. But we're using kind of all parts of the fat that we have, and it is going to give it more of a pork flavor apparently, so you don't want to use it in like pastries and pies and stuff that are going to be sweet. But I think that it'll be really nice for lots of other things that are more savory. So this is the scraps, the meat that we have left over. As you can see, there's not that much. They did a really good job of clearing it all off when they were processing it. This is my bowl of fat. And this is the insert to my slow cooker. So I'm going to transfer this over. All right, it is in the slow cooker. It's meant to cook low and slow for a very long time. And then I can start kind of sifting off the fat that gets rendered out and putting that into a mason jar. It's been about an hour and I can see that the edges are starting to get a little liquidy. You can see that they're kind of starting to change to be a little more translucent, and I'm stirring it up. When you're cooking in the slow cooker, a lot of people do in the slow cooker, which is why I want to do it because it's going to be a little bit easier. And some people say that you can't really control how low it goes, and it might not be low enough. And it might, even when it's on low, it might be a little too hot. So I'm stirring it up. It's going to take it a little longer to cook, but I'm going to keep stirring it now and again. But you can see that on the bottom there, even the liquid is just starting to pool, which is really, really nice. So it seems like it's going well. I'm gonna keep an eye on it and see how it continues to go. I've lost my natural light. It's 5 o'clock, so obviously the sun is gone. But It's been another hour and it is down a lot further. Like the actual volume of the lard, I guess, is gone down. I think that I'm making the world's smallest batch of lard, which is fine. You live and you learn. It has been another hour, so 3 hours in total, and it's definitely starting to feel like it is rendering down and leaving all these little bits. I think I thought originally that all the little bits were like gonna just melt away and that there would be none. And then when I was watching YouTube videos, I realized that that was not true, that they were staying there and that the fat was like kind of coming off of them. And so then I looked, and then I was thinking that I think that those little pieces left over are the scrunchions that you would get traditionally on pan-fried cod in Newfoundland. And so I have to look more into that before the end of this video and let you guys know. But there are little pieces that are going to be left, and but it feels like there's real lard coming off of them, and it looks delicious. Oh, it looks really good now. So it's another hour later. We are 4 hours in, and it definitely looks like it's really cooking up there. I was very excited when I came down and saw it like this. It's 8 o'clock. It's been cooking for 5 hours, and it doesn't really have a strong smell at all. It's very, very mild. I can smell it a little bit if I put my face really close to it, but not my kind of little smell. How's it smell?
Smells like pig fat.
It smells like pig fat, but yeah, it's not a strong smell though. Like it's not going through the house or anything. Anyway, I'm gonna let it cook. Probably for maybe 2 or 3 hours more. Probably just until we're ready to go to bed. Okay, it's 11:30 now, so it's been about 7.5 hours. So I think I'm gonna take out all of the melted oil, I guess, and put it into a jar. Put it, leave it on the counter and see what it looks like tomorrow. I guess since I have a full jar and there seems to be still some stuff left on it, I watched one video where she said that you could leave it overnight. So I'm gonna leave it like this, and I'll come back tomorrow and see what it looks like.
Is it stuff you took out?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Yeah. I was thinking it's like so low down. I was like, where did it all go?
Good morning. It's the next morning. And it looks good. It doesn't look like it burned or anything. It's still cooking. I took this one out of the fridge and look how nice it looks. It's so white, which is what you want. So it looks so good. I'm really excited to cook with it. But now we're gonna drain the rest of it and bottle this up with whatever we're gonna use to bottle it. My second jar is not very aesthetically pleasing, but I've got my nice jar. I have some cracklings that we'll figure out what we're gonna do with, if we're gonna do anything with them. But for now, we're just gonna enjoy our morning, and I'll check back in with you guys when I'm going to cook something with this lard. All right, moment is here. I'm actually gonna make a pie crust with the lard. This is gonna be Jill Winger's old-fashioned on purpose recipe from her website. I'll link it in the description. So I'm gonna try for a kind of version of like the French Canadian tourtière. It's like a meat pie, but a little bit different because I'm gonna be making it with goat and without the spices and stuff. But you can follow along anyway. Normally I would put butter in here, but I'm gonna put lard in because we're cooking with lard in this video. So I was about to make my pie crust. I've got everything ready to go, but I realized that my recipe is like just for the bottom half of the pie, not for the top half. So I gotta go and make a top part of my dough, or else I'm gonna have nothing to cover up my meat pie. So I'm gonna do that now, and then I'm gonna come back to this. Yes!
Yeah.
But that's what we got.
Your first attempt.
It's my first attempt. Camera's crooked, that's okay. All right guys, that is the best that I could do. This is the first time I've made a pie at all. So bear with me. It's not the nicest looking pie, but we're gonna put it in the oven and we're gonna taste it. We're gonna see how it is. Okay, the pie is finished. I've got to let it sit for 10 minutes. It smells really good. Very excited. I can hear it still like kind of bubbling inside, but the crust all stayed together. It might be kind of thick. I might not have like made it as thin as it needed to be, but it looks really good. So I hope it is really good. I really like it. The crust is thick, like it's not a thin crust, but it's really savory. The goat tastes really good. There's not a lot of seasonings in it. It's just onion, goat, a bit of drippings from one of our chickens, and salt. And then just the pie crust, which is just flour, salt, lard, and water. But it's all so tasty, and I'm really happy with the texture. But I feel like it's a success, so I'm very, very happy about it. Very, very pleased. I'm gonna go enjoy this. Just finished the pie, and it was really good. I'm feeling pretty pleased about myself right now. Dominic and I were raving over the pie crust. It was really, really tasty. It was just thick enough and just like flaky enough. It was so nice. I usually buy pre-made pie crusts to make quiches, but I won't be doing that anymore because this is actually pretty easy. I know I filmed the whole process and that made it a little bit more complicated, but in the future when I'm not filming it, I'm gonna be able to whip up a pie crust in a food processor super, super quick. And I'll be able to make more lard next time. I'll probably double what I did this time. But I still have a bunch left over. And I'm feeling really, really satisfied. I feel like this is one of those things that I kind of wished that I would be able to do. Like I kind of dreamed that, you know, like, oh, you know, make my own lard and my own pie. And then I did it today and I feel really good about it. It wasn't even that hard. So feeling really, really nice. It's, you know, it's easy to get down in the winter, especially our winters are so long. Our days are really short. They're starting to get longer now, but you know, we can't really do a lot, so that was very, very satisfying. I'm glad that you guys followed along, and I'm gonna go edit this now so you can see it tomorrow. So I will see you, well, today's Sunday. I'll see you next Wednesday. Thanks, guys. Bye.